So I bought a drone, but the reality of it is I crashed it. So this is a story all about how my life got twisted. No, this is a story about how I crashed my drone. Not the opening to Fresh Prince. So as you can see, the flying was a little sketchy here. I had to make some adjustments before I ran into a bridge, in this middle footage of me doing this turn or whatever. It looks like I'm about to go into the water, but no, I'm not going in the water. It's while I was coming up, I realized there are no top sensors, so there we go. I hit the side of the bridge, it fell, it was dark, I didn't know where the drone was, but as soon as it flipped up, I realized it was behind me, and immediately I ran to go and see if the drone was okay. It wasn't okay. The gimbal on the Mini Pro 3 was jacked up, but hey, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been in the water. So I actually got that drone fixed, and now we're gonna open it up here and see what they did. The funny thing about this story is the way how I remember it is that my drone was stationary and a gust of wind shot it into the side of the bridge. But the reality is I was being sort of kind of careless and wasn't really aware of my surroundings, and that's why the drone fell where it did. So I sent this off to Halifax to Dr. Drone, and they patched this up real nice for me, fixed the gimbal on the Mini Pro 3, and I don't know what to expect, but honestly, this is great. See, this is where it took a tumble. The bridge is blue. Rubbed off on it a little bit. Yeah, probably gonna have to switch these out. They're pretty banged up. Or I can get away with it for a little while. So yeah, see, pretty banged up. And this is a part that was kind of broken. But it looks pretty good. I guess we'll try it out later. If you like the content that you're seeing, go ahead and like this. If you really love it, then go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to follow along for the journey of me figuring out life in this creative space, go ahead and hit the bell, and yeah, you won't miss anything. Cool. Let's get back to the story. So I didn't exactly crash the drone, but something did happen where the drone was involved in a crash. Let me explain. So I had just got my drone, the DJI Mini Pro 3. Super excited, unboxed it, got a couple of hours of flight time in when my good friend Bobby calls me and says, hey, I know you just got a drone. How about you come and you fly it for a shoot that I have? And I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, you'll literally be paid to learn, and learn as you're being paid. And I'm like, no brainer. Okay, great. So obviously I'm super nervous that I might crash this drone because it's my first time really flying a drone, and it's not a high pressure situation, but I was shooting over water. So I decided that I was gonna take the job and I was gonna fly my drone on a job for the very first time 3 days after getting this drone. I barely got an hour. I know I said I had a couple of hours, but it was barely an hour, and I had to deliver. So I get to the spot and I fly the drone. Were the shots great? Not exactly. Did I do a good enough job? I believe so. And I left that shoot without crashing my drone. And then Bobby says to me, hey, bro, we're gonna do the same shoot, but just with a different size ball the next week. Okay, cool. Now I need to explain what the shoot was. We were going to be floating a 20-foot volleyball down one of the rivers here in Edmonton, and it was my job to get some cool cinematic, I know people hate that word right now, cinematic shots that, you know, could be put into a reel. So I said, sure. I nailed it. Maybe not nailed it, but I did an okay job. So I did that, and I was able to get away without crashing my drone, nothing, everything's good. Then the next week, it wasn't a 20-foot volleyball this time, it was a 20-foot basketball that they're floating down the same river, pretty much the same scenes for two different events that were happening in the city. So Bobby says, you want to do that one? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely doing that. So I put a lot more time in this time, figuring out some of the shots, the rises, the tilts, the rotation, all of that. And listen, it was such a great shoot. I did such an awesome job, if I must say so myself. But the reality is that as I was taking one of the shots, it was a still shot, the drone was just hovering over, it was in the stable mode, whatever. And it was just there, the camera was pointed down. It was a great shot as the boat is pulling this 20-foot basketball past the camera, and then there is a gust of wind, and it shot the drone right into the side of the bridge that I was on. And all I saw in the camera was, and then all of a sudden, the drone was behind me. I don't know how it didn't drop into the water, but it didn't. But now, on the second job that I had, I didn't crash my drone. The wind crashed my drone. So yeah, all that to say, look forward to a review from me on the DJI Mini Pro 3. It's gonna be fun and exciting. Yes. That's all for me today. If this is something that you liked, go ahead and like this. If this is something that you want to keep up with, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, blow it up people's elbow it, and all of that great stuff. And if you want to get an alert of when the next one comes out, go ahead and hit that bell as well. Please do. Until the next one, go ahead and do something creative today. Peace.